You just shared something. Maybe a joke. Maybe a video. Maybe a picture that made no logical sense but somehow made you laugh anyway. You didn't think about it. You just sent it. But the real answer for why you did that is far stranger than you think. Your brain wasn't built for phones. It wasn't built for screens or apps or group chats. It was built for something much older. Something that has nothing to do with technology and everything to do with survival. And the strange truth is that the same wiring that once kept your ancestors alive is the exact wiring being triggered every time you hit share. Let's start with a word you already know: meme. You probably think of it as an internet joke, a cat with a caption, a dancing figure with text on top. But the word didn't start there. It was coined in 1976 by the evolutionary biologist Richard Dawkins in his book, The Selfish Gene. Dawkins wasn't talking about the internet. The internet didn't exist yet. He was talking about ideas. He proposed something radical. What if ideas behave like genes? What if a joke, a melody, a rumor, or a belief could spread from brain to brain the same way a gene spreads from body to body? Copying itself, mutating slightly, competing for space in your mind. He called this unit of cultural information a meme. Not because it was funny, because it replicates. Think about that for a second. A meme isn't just a picture, it's a replicator. And your brain is the environment it replicates inside of. So why would evolution build a brain that's this easy to infect with an idea? Here's where it gets stranger. Your ancestors didn't survive because they were strong. They survived because they were social. A single human alone on the savannah, without tools, without weapons, without a group, was prey. But a human inside a tribe, sharing information fast, had an enormous advantage. Where the water was, which plant would kill you, which sound in the night meant run. That information had to travel fast, and it had to travel in a form the brain would actually want to pass on. Not a boring list, a story, a rhythm. Something sticky. Something that felt good to repeat. This is where the psychologist and meme researcher Susan Blackmore comes in. In her book The Meme Machine, she argued that human intelligence itself might be a side effect of memes competing to be copied. The better your brain got at imitating others, she suggested, the more memes it could carry, and the more memes it carried, the more useful information got passed down. Imitation wasn't a shortcut around thinking. Imitation was the thing that built the modern human mind. So copying wasn't weakness. Copying was the whole strategy. And that changes how you should think about the meme you shared yesterday. You weren't being lazy. You were running a program that is millions of years old. Copy what works. Repeat what spreads. Pass it on before you forget it. But there's a twist your ancestors never had to deal with. Back then, copying an idea meant standing near another human, watching them, listening to them, repeating what they did. Copying had a built-in cost: time, effort, proximity. That cost acted like a filter. Only the ideas worth the effort of face-to-face repetition survived. Now that filter is gone. A meme today can travel around the entire planet in under a second without a single person having to stand near another person, without a single ounce of effort beyond a tap. Your ancestors' idea-spreading machine, built for a world of scarcity, is now running inside a world of infinite, frictionless supply. That's not a small change. That's like taking an animal built to eat berries when they're rare, and suddenly surrounding it with an unlimited buffet of sugar. Every hour, forever. Your brain doesn't have a shut-off switch for that, because it never needed one. Here's another piece of the puzzle. Why does a meme need to be funny or shocking or strange to spread? Why doesn't a boring, technically accurate idea travel just as far? In the 1950s, the psychologist Solomon Asch ran a series of experiments on conformity. He put people in a room with actors who all gave an obviously wrong answer to a simple question, on purpose, to see what the one real subject would do. Again and again, real participants changed their own answer, even when their eyes told them the group was wrong. Not because they were foolish, because agreeing with the group has always been safer than standing alone. Fitting in wasn't vanity. Fitting in was armor. Now bring that back to memes. When you laugh at the same joke everyone else is laughing at, when you nod along to a meme format you've seen 100 times, some old, quiet part of your brain registers something simple. I am aligned with the group. I am not the outsider. I am safe. Sharing a meme isn't just entertainment. It's a tiny modern echo of proving you belong to the tribe. Isn't it strange that the same instinct that once helped a small group decide who to trust with the last of the food is now deciding which 15-second video gets 300 million views? Think about what that means for the memes that actually make it big. A meme rarely spreads because it's the smartest idea in the room. It spreads because it's the most repeatable one. Short. Simple. Easy to imitate with almost no effort. A single image with one caption. A single sound with one gesture. Complexity is friction, and friction kills replication. Your ancestors didn't pass down long, complicated warnings around the fire. They passed down short ones. Snake, fire, danger, run. The short version survived the retelling. The long version got lost somewhere between one mouth and the next ear. That's why the meme with the fewest words usually wins. Not because people are too impatient to read, because the shortest version is simply built to survive being copied. There's also a strange kind of trust built into repetition itself. If you hear the same joke, told in the same format, over and over from different people, in different corners of your feed, something in your mind starts to treat it the way it once treated a warning repeated by an entire tribe. If everyone agrees, it must matter. If everyone is laughing, it must be safe to laugh too. You aren't just watching a meme spread. You're watching hundreds of tiny signals of social proof, stacking on top of each other, until sharing it starts to feel less like a choice and more like a formality. There's one more layer to this, and it might be the strangest one. Memes don't just spread because they're useful, or because they help you belong. Sometimes they spread because they're built to exploit the exact same triggers your brain uses to spot danger and reward. A sudden twist, an unexpected punchline, a face doing something your brain doesn't expect. These are the same signals your ancestors' brains were tuned to catch instantly, back when noticing the unexpected difference in the grass could mean the difference between seeing the predator in time or not seeing it at all. Novelty used to mean stay alert. Now novelty just means stay scrolling. The meme isn't hacking a new system. It's using the oldest one you have. Here's something else worth sitting with. Memes don't just spread, they mutate. Watch any meme format long enough and you'll see it change hands, change wording, change context, sometimes dozens of times in a single day. One version gets remixed into another. A caption gets rewritten. A format built for one joke gets stretched to fit a completely different one. This is exactly what Dawkins meant when he compared memes to genes. Genes mutate as they copy, and the mutations that help an organism survive get carried forward, while the ones that don't simply disappear. Memes do the same thing, except the environment they're competing inside of isn't a forest or an ocean. It's your attention. A meme format that stops making people laugh doesn't die out because someone decided to retire it. It dies out because people quietly stopped copying it. No one has to declare a meme officially over. It just stops getting shared the exact same way a gene that no longer helps an animal survive simply stops getting passed down to the next generation. Extinction for an idea looks a lot like silence. And some memes don't just survive. They dominate, spreading across cultures and languages, mutating into new versions that look almost nothing like where they started. The same way a single ancestral species can branch into wildly different descendants over enough generations. The meme you saw today might be a distant, unrecognizable descendant of a joke format from years ago, the same way you are a distant, unrecognizable descendant of ancestors who never saw a screen in their entire lives. So the next time you scroll past 100 pieces of content without stopping, and then suddenly stop, laugh, and immediately hit share, understand what actually just happened. Ancient alarm bells for novelty went off. Ancient tribal instincts for belonging lit up, and an idea that Richard Dawkins first described 50 years ago just used your own evolved brain to make one more copy of itself. Through you, in less than 2 seconds. You didn't choose that meme. In a very real sense, that meme chose you, because your brain was already the perfect place for it to land. There's a reason this can feel a little uncomfortable to think about. It's tempting to imagine yourself as the one deciding what to share, standing fully in control, choosing each piece of content on its merits. But evolution doesn't usually build creatures that experience their own instincts as instincts. It builds creatures that experience their instincts as choices. Your ancestors didn't feel a survival algorithm telling them to fear the dark. They just felt afraid, and the fear felt like their own. You don't feel an ancient replication engine telling you to share a meme. You just feel like something is funny, and sharing it feels like your own idea. That's not a flaw in the system. That's the entire point of the system. An instinct that felt like an instinct would be easy to override. An instinct that feels like your own genuine choice almost never gets questioned at all. None of this makes you gullible. It makes you human. Every person who has ever repeated a story around a fire, warned a friend about danger, taught a child a rhyme to remember something important, was running the exact same system. The tools changed. Stone tools became story. Story became language. Language became memes with captions. The wiring never changed at all. So today, when the sun goes down and you lie in bed scrolling one more time, and you find something that makes you laugh, and your thumb moves to share it before your mind even finishes deciding, remember what's actually happening underneath. You're not just entertaining a friend. You're doing the same thing your ancestors did around every fire that has ever been lit. You're keeping the story alive. You're just doing it faster than they ever could have imagined.